So, hi everyone, and welcome to our webinar this week where we're covering some of the Relais Chateaux properties in Ireland. So, I did a little faux pas when we sent out the first notification. I had Sheen Falls down as a member of Ireland's Blue Book, but they aren't. But they're an amazing property, and they're Relais Chateaux, and one of, I suppose, the advisors' favourite properties, not just in Kenmare but also in the whole of Kerry.
I
So,
need somewhere to go on holidays, Siobhan. That's why it's good that Sheen Falls are not in the Blue Book. I can go there and get
I
away from
know.
it all.
And they won't tell tales to you, whatever
And
you
they
get up
won't
to.
tell tales. And that's why I like having it's where I go on my holiday.
Because I was saying it to Sheila, and I apologized to her as well. You know what I mean? Because of the faux
Yeah.
pas that she was saying, well, we're perhaps a secret member. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk to Shelley first a bit about the Blue Book properties, and then we're going to Liss Ard. But Liss Ard are just a little bit late in joining us. So if necessary, we move them further back, and then we'll go over to Sheila in Sheen Falls Hotel, and then on to Ciara in Ballyfin, and back to Liss Ard at the end. And if they don't manage to get on, we can go to Shelley because she knows all about Liss Ard. So Shelley, over to you. Have you seen any trends recently that are different in Ireland from a point of view of inquiries for more not the norm type of experiences?
I think people want to try different things. I mean, we have Castle Leslie in the Blue Book collection. It's a castle, but when people go there now, they want to go horse riding.
Yeah.
Um, so people are looking to get out and really explore the outdoors. The Blue Book over our 50 years would always have people who love fishing, and they would pick some Blue Book properties to actually go fishing on as an activity. But we're seeing people now that wouldn't have done that, trying it out for the first time. Cycling's very
Yeah.
popular this year as well, where people in Ireland, we have these great routes, really safe routes to explore the countryside. We'd have people maybe staying in one Blue Book property, and I know you and your team have arranged this for people, and they stay in one of our castles one night, and then they move on to the next property and they bring the bikes. So people are really getting out there and exploring, and I'm sure that's what you're going to hear from Ciara and from Sheila, that while people are on site in our properties, be it Blue Book or Sheen Falls, they're trying different things in the area.
And it's interesting because we used to do all the grand tanning for Butterfield and Robinson. And when we were doing it, like a lot of people would do sort of Galway and Connemara, but like, as you know yourself, we don't have huge mountains in Ireland. So I always think around the Wicklow area is beautiful, around Kilkenny, even in Kerry, which has the highest mountains in Ireland, the hills really aren't that high. And the same in Cork, you've got fantastic areas in Cork you can cycle.
Yeah.
We had the other day, like it's actually happened a few times in the last month. We've had a lot of people doing deep sea fishing as well, and people don't realize you can actually do deep sea fishing easily in Ireland and combine it with your itinerary. Or we have those fantastic, properties that have fishing beside them.
I think you're right. When I know there's people on the call from the US or from different parts of the world, and they have real mountains there, huge mountains
Yeah,
there.
they do.
Okay, let's be honest. Okay, we have hills. But when you talk about dramatic scenery, I mean, from Donegal on the north coast of Ireland all the way down to Kerry, and she'll talk more about Kerry, we have beautiful mountains and lakes combined. And when you're on holiday, maybe you don't want to do the Everest. Maybe
Yeah.
you want that 6 mile hike or that 4 mile hike, and then you go back to a Blue Book property and order a Michelin star meal.
Yeah.
I mean, you are on holiday,
Yeah. But
so
also,
I think
like,
that's what Ireland allows you to do, the more gentle
yeah.
walks and hikes.
And there's so many pubs and little villages around that you can stop there for something to eat. And the other thing about pub food in Ireland is it's not greasy pub food. It's very healthy, salads, homemade soups, chowders, and stuff like that. So there's lots of little stops they can, have a pint or,
Oh, I think spot on. I'm just thinking of there's a Blue Book property, King Citric. It's very casual in the village of Howth near
yeah,
Dublin. But that would be the perfect place where you'd have very casual lunch, but all the seafood comes in off the boats.
yeah.
And then maybe you do the hike up Howth Head, which is a beautiful hike, but you could do it in a couple of hours. And I know that Ciara will talk about what you can do walking around Ballyfin, even the grounds of Ballyfin. I've stayed in Ballyfin on my first wedding anniversary. Okay, my 10th is this week. And we did walks all around the estate.
Yeah.
And that was wonderful. And we never left the estate. Yeah, no. And I'm
Those,
glad you mentioned the food, because we do have the Michelin star in the Blue Book. We have 7. But
yeah.
it's also that farm to fork philosophy. A lot of the Blue Book hotels are in large estates. I'm thinking of like Cooper's Hill that you've worked with, where you've done
Mhm.
private rental for multi-gen families, where a lot of the food comes from the estate and it's on your plate that evening. I think that's what Ireland offers and has always offered.
And I think what people like is a combination as well, because sometimes Michelin star food can be quite fussy. And it's nice to have sort of like good Michelin food. You know, if you want the very, very fussy fine dining, it's there as well. But then combining it with more comfort food or light snacks and healthy snacks and wholesome snacks during the day, if
I
you're
think we're
partaking in
seeing
the
that
evening.
in a lot of properties
Mm.
throughout Ireland. I'm thinking of Marfield House. It's a Relais Chateaux property in the Blue Book, and they have the casual dining in the Duck. So you've been out for a hike, you've gone to the beach, you've done something that day. You can have casual, but then the next night you may want to get dressed up and go to the formal conservatory for your dinner. So
Mm.
often in Blue Book properties, you can get that combination. You can do the fine dining one night and then opt for the bar the other night and something much more casual,
Yeah,
depending on what you're up to. Yeah. But we do like getting dressed up as well on holidays. It
true.
is nice. I love the Pullman restaurant in Glenlow Abbey. It's carriages from the Orient Express. And I had a very romantic meal there. And then we went in and we watched the movie. And okay, we were all dressed up and it was lovely, but it was an enjoyable experience.
Well, we
Definitely.
always remember, I don't know, Gio, you probably remember, but I don't know what year it was that we all went down to Ballyfin and they have the
Got dressed
costumes.
up.
And Kira can correct me here, from the Chicago Opera
Yeah,
Society.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. And it's one of the group activities that we offer. It's amazing. Such
Yeah,
good fun as well.
it was because I was hesitant to do it, but we really loved it. And it's nice to look back in those photos of all of us,
Yeah.
enjoying
We
ourselves.
have the picture on our website and on I think I showed it to Kira when we were there
You did, yeah,
last
when you were
week.
down
Yeah.
a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Regency mansion, obviously Ballyfin. So it's like your Bridgerton moment while
Yeah.
you're here as well, having that fun.
Yeah, and it's like it's almost Bridgerton revisited as well. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
great. So, Gio, should we go on to
Will I show
type,
Shelley's
yeah.
video?
Oh, you have a
And then
video
you
of me.
can
I can
you.
talk
No,
over, can I?
you can talk over, yes. Just give
Really?
me 1
I
second.
don't, usually when something's on TV, I have to be
It's
quiet, but
it's
this will be a good experience
just
for
a
me.
few a
Yeah.
few of the properties and then you can talk over there. So
Yeah.
we share screen.
Yeah, no, that would be fabulous. We'll take you. There are over 60 properties in Ireland's Blue Book throughout the island of Ireland, but we won't be doing a trip all around them in this video. There's just going to be a few, I think, a few highlights for you.
Let me see
All the properties in the Blue Book, I don't do any work. It's very important you all know this. Tour operators like Siobhan's company, Adams and Butler, they can book all of these properties for you. And they can put together an itinerary where your clients are traveling around the island of Ireland, staying in our castles, in our lighthouses, in Liss Ard Estate that you're going to hear from in a moment, in Ballyfin. They'll put that itinerary together for you. And whether your clients are self-drive or chauffeur drive, they just wander around Ireland. Like we said, dining in our Michelin star restaurants or in our more casual country house cooking, but they're all romantic and they're all in beautiful locations with fabulous scenery. And I think your clients will have a lovely time there, be if they pick a castle or a country house. You'd know our 5 stars in the city, like the Merrion Hotel here in Dublin or Hayfield Manor in Cork. So do think about us for town and country, but remember to book through your preferred tour operator, which would be Siobhan. Make them do all the work for you. That's what I say. Okay. I'll show you pretty pictures and I can tell you about my lovely experiences in Ballyfin and Liss Ard. But when it comes to the hard work, get Siobhan and her team to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shelley. And just Donna raised her hand there. Do you have a question for us, Donna? I'm just going to allow you to speak if you want to ask her questions. Donna Elliott.
So she can put it in the chat box, maybe.
Yeah, passed. It's okay.
Okay, so are we going over to Liss Ard, Gio, or are we going
Yes,
to Kenmare? Which?
We've got. Hello.
Oh,
We've a man joining us.
how did that happen?
Oh, I
Oh, we're on
Oh,
silent
hello.
Use it
here.
at the moment.
We've silenced a man. Okay.
Is this Michael?
Should I unsilence myself or no?
Yes,
There we
do.
Is you
Okay.
Michael, right?
Yeah, I'm Michael from Liss Ard
Yes.
Estate. So
Perfect.
actually, we have two properties. So right now I'm at our other property, which is it's a member of Relais Chateaux in Burgundy, France.
Oh, wow.
But we're more. It's like children. You love them both the same, but maybe I have a special heart for Liss Ard Estate. So we acquired the property over 3.5 years ago. We renovated every guest room, every bathroom, all the common areas, have built out what we believe is a great wellness and activities program. Did you want to, Ramon?
Michael,
Yeah,
can I
yeah.
give a sense of place? Just because people wouldn't know where Liss Ard is, and it's quite a new it's not as well known, say, as other properties in Cork. So Liss Ard is beside it's Skibbereen or Clonakilty's?
Skibbereen. So I would
Skibbereen.
like to say, of course, all of Ireland is amazing, but I have a special place in my heart for West Cork as well.
Yeah.
I really think West Cork is it's the postcard of Ireland, but hasn't been corrupted so much by mass tourism. It really is kind of that special place where all the celebrities go to escape.
And
It
would
has
you
a really
consider
relaxed vibe,
I'm
hasn't
sorry.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
it's that
Yeah.
you just relax when you get to West Cork. It's like you slow down.
Yeah,
would you
People are just
describe
more
it to
chilled out.
Sonoma, really?
Yeah, well, I have a little video. Do you want me to play a
I've
video
got
while I talk?
the video there. Yeah, let me get that on.
Yeah.
And I also
So
have
I can
the,
talk a little bit about the state while we
got the video on.
we have a
So
2 minute.
first, I just wanted to show on a map for
Yeah.
everyone to see.
And
So
by the
obviously
way,
that's
I've tried
Ireland.
everything possible to get rid of that picture because that's the
Oh.
ugliest picture of the
Oh,
estate,
no.
and somehow it keeps on reappearing.
Coming
So,
back.
Yeah,
But
that's
so from Cork, how far are you
Yeah.
from Cork?
about slightly over an hour. So
Just
from
over an hour.
an hour and 10 minutes max from
But
the
it's a
from
beautiful
both.
drive, though, from
Yeah,
Cork
and
City.
I've
It's such a
got
scenic
the
drive.
As soon
video
as you
there.
and the N71 is beautiful. It's a very nice drive. So what you're looking at here is maybe could we
Put the sound
turn
down?
the,
Yeah.
exactly. So it has a 40-acre private lake to a kilometer drive up to the manor. That's the manor. We have 16 guest rooms in the manor and the adjacent garden house. That's very consistent look and feel through all the rooms. So we are in the process of putting treatment on the 4-poster beds to give it a softer look. This is our wellness center that's right on the lake. We have 2 wood-burning saunas, a cardio gym that's all self-powered, a yoga studio. This is our library bar and gallery. And again, I think what people love about Liss Ard Estate, it's tranquility. It's 163 acres. Like you had been mentioning before, from a culinary point, everything's we have a 1-acre chef's garden. This is the Sky Garden by James Turrell. I had no idea that James Turrell is probably one of the 10 most influential artists living today. And we have the largest James Turrell installation in all of Europe. So like if you come through West Cork and you don't see the Sky Garden, you've missed something truly exceptional. That is me on the rowboat. Nothing. The further I am from the camera, the better.
Michael,
So
the last time I visited, it was famous at that time for permaculture and organic farming.
Yeah.
Because my son is a permaculturist living down there.
Oh,
and he
nice.
does the farmers markets and stuff. But like it was sort of the place in West Cork.
Yeah, and so we've just brought on a new partner in my company to drive our restaurant business. He opened up one of the most famous. He's an American guy. Opened up one of the most famous restaurants in Paris. And so we are strong believers in destination locations. You have to have a world-class culinary experience.
Mhm.
But I agree with what you were talking about before. like here at the Abbey, we have a gastronomy, Michelin's gastronomy, but if you're staying for 3 or 4 days, you want that once. So you have the bistro or that other concept has to be put as much attention and focus in that as the gastronomy. And so right now, we have just launched a new restaurant. It's focused on small dishes from our garden or from local suppliers 5 or 10 kilometers max away. For example, there's a very famous lady named Sally Barnes. She does some of the best smoked salmon in the world. She only supplies to a handful of Michelin rated restaurants. And if she doesn't like you, she doesn't supply to you.
Welcome to Ireland, Michael. That's how business works in Ireland.
I love it.
If we like you, we work with you.
I absolutely love it. And it's one of our one of our core values that, every guest is a VIP, but also our suppliers and our stakeholders. So it doesn't work without them. And, kind of funny, in building up the team, we've found it from a culinary point, we found it easier to recruit world-class chefs to come to Ireland than to France. And that's because Ireland, especially I believe in this area of Ireland, is such a playground from produce to dairy to amazing seafood. It's a chef's dream. And so 20 minutes down the road is a restaurant named Didi that's 2-star. I promise you it will get a 3rd star. It's that good. And and then we have Chestnut, which is a 1-star Michelin about 15 minutes away in Ballydohab. So I have heard, and I do believe that West Cork is the culinary capital of Ireland. It sounds good, so I believe it. So
the other thing, it's like, slow cooking. It's also a slow way of life. Like there's so many people who've moved to West Cork from outside of Ireland because they've just fallen in love with the place when they visit.
It's absolutely stunning. It has like 3 archetypes of people that I think make it special. One, you have your successful creatives like David Putnam, Jeremy Irons, Graham Norton. They all have their homes there. Then you have the bohemian kind of hippie, free spirits. And then you have these amazing tradesmen. Like people walk into, and when we did the renovation, we only used local tradesmen. And people walk in and they know that Alan Fitzgerald did the floors. Like or that Clahan Woods did a lot of the joinery and woodwork for the bar. So we're very blessed to have that type of talent around us.
Brilliant. So thank you very, very much. And I'm looking forward to seeing it again because I haven't seen it since like the last time I was there was a good few years ago. So it's delighted when you became Relais Chateaux. You
have to come. We're very proud again we couldn't have done it without the talent of the local tradesmen, but the renovation couldn't have turned out better. And you go in that wood burning sauna, go into the lake, do that 3 times, and you're born again.
And I did the Sky Garden.
Siobhan, as well. I loved the Sky Garden. I did the Sky Garden with my mother-in-law during the break in the pandemic, and it was just such a fabulous experience. And you're lying there and you're looking up at the clouds and the skies, because we do get clouds in Ireland occasionally. It's not always sunny, the odd time, but it's such a unique experience.
Well, you didn't hear my insurance company say this, but it's best at night on a cloudless night. You can see every star in the sky. In the morning or in the evening when you get the pastels in the sky, it's beautiful. But on a cloudless night with a new moon, you'll never see more stars in the sky. It's amazing.
And a common denominator here as well with all the properties today is that the exclusive use. So your property is small enough for exclusive use, Ballyfin as well, and then Sheen Falls has amazing access as well for exclusive use rentals as well. So maybe what we'll do is move on to Sheila, and then if there's any questions, we can come back to Michael. Is that okay?
With pleasure. I'll mute myself. I'll mute myself now.
So just when people are talking about West Cork and also talking about Kerry, West Cork actually joins Kerry. So that amazing scenery we're talking about in West Cork, you literally go half an hour and you're in Kerry. And this is where Sheen Falls is based. So it's one way of, you know, getting down to Kerry instead of going through Limerick, or, you know, people tend to stay in Adair or Dromoland and then go on to Kerry, but you can actually go through Cork, and it's a beautiful, beautiful drive through fantastic winding roads, farmers markets, that fantastic, you know, farm to fork experience, etc. So Sheila, how are you?
I'm good, thanks Siobhan, and delighted to be online again. Thank you, and lovely to see and well see so many participants with us this evening. So thank you all for joining. It's a privilege.
I have the short video. Will I start with that, Sheila?
Yeah, thank you.
The sound up.
So I love the music. The music is part of the Sheen Falls experience. Our pianist has been here since the hotel opened 34 years ago, and actually he met his wife here and got married at Sheen Falls. And I think that's the essence of the property, is the people you meet, is the stories, you know, that you're told. When you meet the Gilly who went fishing, he's a great storyteller. When you meet the chef to do a tour of her smokehouse, again, just it's the people, it's who you meet and the interactions that you have. And really, it's all about the setting, and we're located on a 300-acre estate overlooking the Sheen River that makes its journey to Kenmare Bay. So every bedroom, all the public areas have an amazing view to the water. I don't see it playing, but anyway.
Oh, was it? Didn't the video not play? Could we see the video or just hear the music? Siobhan,
We saw a very nice picture, and actually I was listening to Sheila giving me a whole romantic trip around Kenmare, so I was quite happy. But it was just it was a picture. Yeah, it was a solid picture.
And we were actually talking earlier. Okay, when the video finishes as well, if you want to talk a bit about Kenmare, since they were talking about it earlier as well.
Yeah, I mean, the success of Sheen Falls is really, you know, we have Kenmare on our doorstep. It's within a 10-minute walk or a short transfer in our fabulous Buick car. And while it looks in that picture behind me that we are isolated and in the middle of nowhere, we have this amazing little town right on our doorstep. Amazing restaurants, lovely art galleries, beautiful shops, and just all done on a very small scale, and the people of the town take great pride in it. We have this competition in Ireland called Tidy Town, so all the facades of the shops are really well maintained. They're all have window boxes with beautiful flowers throughout the summer. So Kenmare is always highly regarded within that competition. So again, it's your picture perfect, you know, quintessential Irish town to be and visit. So it's a really, really pretty town. Lovely food tour available actually, and that's relatively new. It's probably operating 4 or 5 years now. It runs every Wednesday, but can be booked privately as well. And again, I suppose the biggest surprise for your clients when they return home, they'll tell you they cannot believe the quality of the food. And we've all spoken about it, but at long last, it's something that we're very proud of.
I'm just gonna try that again.
Yeah,
I think it's working now.
There's our 1936 vintage Buick. You hear it before you see it. So anytime it goes through town, people are out to see who's in the car, because Irish people are very inquisitive or nosy. So just in case there's a celebrity in Sheen Falls, the whole town has to know about it. Beautiful spaces throughout the hotel. Again, the emphasis on food and lots of activities. And we're finding that people are staying longer because they're really immersing themselves in what to do in the area. They are doing the fishing, the horse riding. We purchased a local golf course 2 years ago, so we now have golf to offer our clients. And you may have also seen those cottages and villas. So we have 5 luxury thatched cottages on the grounds. So perfect for your multi-gen, where you still have access to everything at the hotel when you stay in a private cottage. And again, you'll see them behind me on the that roof. Yeah, I was pointing at my laptop and I was like, no, I need to do this. So within,
You're like one of those weather girls on the TV, Sheila. You know where they go, the rain is moving in from the west.
no, bright spells and
Bright
scattered
spells
showers.
always. Yeah.
Well, if I give up the day job here in Sheen Falls, maybe there's a weather girl calling for me.
Yeah, that foodie tour is very popular, but you've also got that chocolatier beside you.
Yeah, Benoit actually, again, another lovely story. Benoit came to Sheen Falls as a pastry chef, and at the time, about, again, 30 years ago, and at the time the hotel would close in the winter, so Benoit would start making chocolates himself to occupy the winter. And suddenly there was demand for his chocolates, and he bought a local post office that wasn't in use anymore, about 5 minutes from the hotel. And he set up his own business, and now he's supplied in fabulous food stores around the country as well. But you can go and do chocolate making with Benoit. The hardest part is not being tempted to lick your fingers during the whole process. He doesn't allow that.
And then when I was down there the last time, by the way, I loved, you know, the particular room that I love. You have the fireplace, the view of the waterfall. It's just it's actually probably my favorite bedroom in the world. But I was a little bit disconcerted when I found out my kids had stayed in the same room. I was thinking, this must be.
We're keeping it in the family.
But when I was down there the last time, I'm a big fan of Tom Crean, who was the explorer, and in fact, who probably did more than Shackleton did in a way, really, in all those exploration journeys. And when someone in the bar was telling me about that new brewery, which I hope is still there, and I rang them and they weren't open that day, but they said I could come in. And I must say, I had a very enjoyable, probably 2 hours talking to the grandniece.
Yeah, his granddaughter.
Oh my
Amy.
God. Yeah. It was just an
Yeah.
amazing story, you know. It was lovely to hear. So there's a lot more than people think that's down in Kerry, not just the Ring of Kerry, there's a lot more.
Yeah, and we actually find, you know, people are being brave and not insisting on doing the Ring of Kerry. They love the Beara Peninsula, getting off the beaten track. You can do the Ring of Kerry and not meet a bus tour as well if you're with you know, your driver guides know how to maneuver that as well. So it's not necessarily, you can see Kerry very differently. You don't have to do the typical things as
and
well.
that Beara Peninsula drive from West Cork to Kerry as well that we were mentioning earlier, it's really, really enjoyable. Like there's the 3 rings really, that there's always something to do, and it's not as busy as people think. But Kenmare is a particularly beautiful town.
Yeah, it's a great little town.
You're wonderful, because I have a very close friend who's also an advisor, and I was very touched that she brought the ashes of her sister over and put them in the waterfall. I think that, you know, is testament to the property as well and the beauty.
Yeah, and people, they feel at ease, they feel at peace when they're here, and sometimes the journey can be long to get here, and honestly, shoulders drop and straight away people are completely relaxed. And you know, that's the power of the water and the setting and the nature. And I suppose luxury for us is in our nature and the surroundings, and the hotel evolved around the water completely. So yeah, we don't take it for granted.
And then you have, actually, I have a lovely video on my phone nighttime with the waterfall and the lights and the colours and everything is just amazing. But you have the lovely walks there as well in the forest.
Yeah, beautiful walks on the grounds, you know, be it long or short. So there's something for everyone here, Siobhan. There's so much to do. The only problem is when you're asked to turn off the waterfalls, it's not something we can do.
Can I ask you a question, Siobhan, and Sheila as well? Like, a lot of the roads are tiny on the Beara Peninsula. Okay, I've driven them, but I'm from the countryside in Ireland. Would you be recommending, Siobhan, then to get a driver guide, really, if you're anyway nervous?
If you can afford it. But driver guides have become more expensive in the last few years. Since COVID, driver guiding has gone up because of the price of gas. So if people can afford it, yes, have a driver guide. But if they have to self-drive, sometimes we suggest either they do it as, like, if they're too worried about self-driving, do it as a tour, or just take their time.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, you don't get a large car. You get, you know, a mid-sized to smaller car, and you go close to the edge when you're going around the corner, and you'll be fine. The problem in Ireland in the winter, in the summer, is that the bushes grow into the road. So there's great visibility in the winter.
The beautiful bushes.
The beautiful
The
bushes,
beautiful bushes that we don't cut back to protect the bird population.
Exactly,
Yeah.
the bees and the birds. And that's probably what, like, because I drive down to West Cork a lot because my son and my grandchildren live down there. And that is totally different in the summer as it is in the winter. And it's so beautiful. But you just go that bit slower. So I think if people are comfortable enough, yes. And if they're not comfortable, they shouldn't do it. But they could always self-drive, you know, around the motorways, and then either get a driver for the day or join a tour if necessary for the day.
And even if people are flying in, and I know Mike's going, if you're flying into Dublin and you don't need a car in Dublin City, and if you're spending the start of your trip in Dublin City, you get used to the opposite side of the road. So by the time you pick up your car, you've actually got it into your headspace as well, that that's the other side that I need to be driving on. And then people are very polite in Ireland when driving. You don't, Michael, I don't know what you think, but you don't get beeped in West Cork. You know, the sheep will hold you up on the road, but
that's happened, as have the cows, which is hysterical. But you know, it took me a couple times driving to Cork to figure out. And on our pre-arrival call, we tell our guests to stay on the N71 because Google Maps, the algorithm is time and distance, or speed limit and distance. And those backcountry roads have like an 80-kilometer-an-hour speed limit, which you can never go more than 30. So Google Maps will actually try to take you on some adventurous roads.
But you also have to bear in mind,
people will help you, won't they? Like if you get lost, you just ask anyone, I'm lost. And in Ireland, I think Michael will say this, they will give you directions, even if they don't know where you are going or where it is, they will try and help.
Oh, it's a 30-minute conversation for sure.
But the thing to bear in mind in Ireland, especially when you're going off the motorways, it's time, not distance. So we know how long it takes to get from, say, you know, Cork City to Clonakilty or Skibbereen, from Killarney to Kenmare, from, you know, wherever, you know, Limerick, whatever. But the thing is that people shouldn't look at the map for the smaller roads, because it doesn't give you a true sense. Like the amount of time it takes to do the Ring of Kerry, which is tiny, and then to get from Dublin to Cork City is 2.5 hours, or Dublin to Galway is 2 hours. So we have to go over to Kira in Ballyfin, and that's another property. When we talk about, Shelley and I have talked about this before, that if you rent a car in particular, it's a good idea not to have it if you're in Dublin, but you can always do Dublin on your return as well. And you can pick up that car and you can get down to Ballyfin in 90 minutes, probably even less nowadays.
It's less. I live in Dublin City and I commute down here, and it takes me an hour and 10 minutes from the city centre.
And the road is huge.
You're basically on a highway all the way down, and it's from the airport. Peter, our general manager, likes to say we're within the anxiety range of Dublin Airport, which obviously we should mention for the American friends on this call that we have pre-clearance, US pre-clearance. So you do emigration in Ireland and you land as a domestic in the US, which a lot of people know, but some people don't either. But yeah, we're about an hour. So we're in the middle of Ireland as well. But we're in a great position. At the moment, I have my legs up here inside in one of our lovely suites. So I thought I'd do a little show around for you today, bring you live from Ballyfin. So this is actually a lovely view of our beautiful evening here we have in Ballyfin this evening.
And it's where Kim and Kanye spent their honeymoon.
Yes, and we've had many, many famous people here over the years, which we're very, very lucky with. So you can see here, this is one of our beautiful suites. So we've 20 suites in the hotel. This is nicknamed the Pineapple Room, which is actually quite famous. We're a Regency mansion, so we were built in the 1800s. So it gives you a nice little virtual tour. And to all our clients who are wondering about the weather here, it can be bright and sunny and dry, and we do have air conditioning in all our rooms, which is quite surprising for an old house.
And Ciara, it's going to be bright, isn't it, now tonight until about 10:30 at night. So if you're coming to Ireland and you're touring, it gets bright maybe at 5 a.m. If you want to get up at 5 a.m. on holidays, great. And you can keep going and exploring until 10:30 at night in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people forget that part, that we are so lucky to have long evenings here in Ireland from really April until October. So it gives you a great opportunity to explore, obviously, the entire region here as well, and obviously Ballyfin.
Mm-hmm. And it also means that you don't have to worry about getting to a hotel too early. You know what I mean? That if it gets dark, like it won't get dark until later in the day. So whereas in other countries, you know, it starts getting dusk at 5 or 6, so it gives you that time.
I've got a little video to show, Kira.
Super.
Play that. Yeah.
I liked the live video. That was very good.
The estate, Siobhan and Shelley mentioned earlier on about the fishing. You'll have seen the lake in front of the house here, and it's one of the largest man-made lakes actually in Ireland. But it's lovely to take a little picnic out in it actually in the evening time, or a nice bottle of rosé to enjoy, and we can send one of the butlers out to help you out of the water if needed. But I suppose the big thing with Ballyfin is the activities in the house. We do a history tour here every day at 4 o'clock, which is conducted by one of our butlers who actually went to school here. And we've an awful lot of family members working here. We're very much a local business as well. So we've over 17 of the staff have family members. So nearly over half of our staff are family members working here in some form. And Pat, one of our gardeners, has been here over 40 years and saw the transformation through and is still here. So we have some great storytellers here, which we're very famous for in Ireland as well.
And you have a connection with Highgrove in a way, because Jim was involved in Highgrove, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah. So Jim Reynolds, back during the renovation. So Fred Creeville, our owner, his sons now have taken over his legacy. So Chicago based, however, Irish connections. Fred's wife is Irish, from Kerry, the good county where Sheila is based. But yes, Jim Reynolds was one of the architects of the landscape here. So there's huge connections because of the Regency House period. Obviously, you mentioned Highgrove there. A lot of the renovation work, a lot of the former antiques, and it was brought back as much as possible to its former glory as well, which would have been during the 1800s also. But you mentioned the costume experience earlier on, which is great fun. For a group, we do exclusive buyouts here, but as
you want
Shelley...
to talk a bit about the costume experience? Because I think we were doing that sort of informally before we started the webinar.
Yeah, so for me, I think it's one of the funnest things to do here. So we actually have a dressing room. Essentially, the costume experience, it's comparable to Bridgerton, which we all know of recent times again. So essentially, if you come as individuals or as a group, our team here will take you to our dressing room and you will pick out your costumes. We can get photos, a photographer organised, so you can have photos taken, and then we can organise a banquet style dinner for you as well. And then photos that evening also. So it just makes it a really fun experience. And it's very interactive for any groups coming in also, and very memorable, and it's in keeping with the house as well overall. So it's just, as we say in Ireland, it's good crack, which means fun in Ireland, obviously.
We had a
Not
few
the other
proposals. You have a tower there.
Yes.
Because I know we've had
yes,
about 3 proposals in the past.
You've lovely places on that, on the
all
whole
over,
estate
like,
for proposals. You actually would be spoiled to
yeah,
pick
like,
somewhere for a proposal on the estate. There's a
yeah,
little grotto, there's the lake. You can do the picnic at the tower. You really wouldn't need to narrow down your proposal place, I think. Yeah.
well, they could propose several times while they are here as well. We could offer that opportunity as well. This room itself is very romantic. It's nicknamed the Pineapple Room. Apparently, back in Regency period, pineapples were like in social circles, it was like a badge of honor to have a pineapple because they were so difficult to grow in the UK and Ireland. So people used to rent pineapples back in the Regency period and have them for a week on end, not to eat, just to display, because it was a badge of honor back then as well. Hence this. But yes, this room is actually great for romance and for proposals. We have the Folly, which you mentioned, Shelley, which was actually built during famine times. The keepers.
The Folly is at the tower.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
tower, and it actually doesn't have any water flowing around it. It was actually during famine times. The family here at the time, the Coote family, wanted to create some work for the local villagers. So they just asked them to build the Folly. But it's a beautiful tower overlooking the entire countryside for as far as the eye can see. We have our beautiful picnic house that you saw in the video, which is absolutely gorgeous. And it's great for
Ciara, do you do still the carriage rides around the estate? Because
Yes,
I
yeah.
experienced that, and that was beautiful. I remember we went through the woods. I don't know where everyone listening is from, but the bluebells were out. And we went on a carriage ride through the Bluebell Woods, and it was absolutely magical. Is that something that still happens at Liss Ard?
Yeah. And it's Lionel, who actually, one of our butlers, he's the expert and he gives a history of the estate. And Lionel himself was one of the carpenters in the original renovation work. So he now works here on property since 2011 when we reopened as Ballyfin. And we also have our head gardener, Kaylee, who will actually do an amazing tour of our gardens, and including the bluebells if you're here at that time of the year. We're in full bloom here at the moment, 8 acres of gardens. She actually, talking about our food story and connecting everything as a Blue Book property and a Relais property, obviously it's a huge part of what we do, and Ireland has really come on. And Kaylee and Richard, our chef, would get together before the seasons to make sure they're planting ahead. So it's very much a field to fork dining experience and supporting local. But as Sheila had mentioned, the food in Ireland is exceptional now. We're so lucky, like West Cork obviously as well.
Well, it's common sense, isn't it, that you grow food locally?
Yeah.
And we have a very low population in Ireland. So we can have these spaces where we grow. So it makes sense from a sustainability. A lot of the Blue Book properties have been doing that for 50, 60 years. We just called it local farming, but now
it's also the same with organic farming. Like a lot of our food was naturally organic. So you know what I mean? When organic farming came about, like that was the way we've always grown things, even in our own gardens. And it's a shame in one way because my son, who's involved in the permaculture and organic farming, he said there's a lot of small producers and they can't afford to get audited to prove they're organic, but they actually are organic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those people in the farmers markets. And he said almost there needs to be something that, to verify that without them going through the whole expensive process when they're one-man band, trying to support a family and, a small farm, etc. But it's true, the food here is fantastic, and the quality here.
But we're surrounded by water as well. So like we export 80% of our lobster overseas. A lot of it's France, obviously, but we have amazing seafood in Ireland as well that you can experience. Like Shelley mentioned, Howth, which is in Seaside Village in the county of Dublin. Like we're absolutely so blessed with what we have here, and we feel so lucky as well, I think.
But we also have crawfish here and we don't eat it.
We've what?
Crayfish, we don't eat it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
that's something. I was talking to Doreen Allen during the St. Patrick's Day events in New York, and I was telling her because my son does it. I have 5 boys. If I mention a son, I'm not talking about the same one all the time, but another one is over in Tampa, but he's his specialization is in like the ocean and biochemistry and stuff. But he was saying like we have an awful lot of crayfish that we're not used to eating, so something we should start.
Interesting, isn't it? But it's even with Sheila. I know Sheila with the salmon you have, which is so hard to get good salmon these days. You're very lucky, even you smoke your own salmon, I think. And
You do, yeah.
Do you think, Siobhan, food is something that surprises your clients when they come to Ireland? That
the biggest
we know
comment
we
that
have
people
good
make.
food, and no, Michael has experienced it in
Yeah.
West Cork, and she has talked about it. Do you think that's one of the things that
I think
our
so, and
visitors
also,
are surprised by?
like as Ciara said about Sheen Falls, and Sheila, you can add to this. The fact that you smoke your own salmon is amazing for a hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very unique, and I suppose it has its own distinct flavors as well. And definitely people are surprised by the quality of food. And look, our animals are grass fed, they're outdoors all the time. And even if something is coming from Dublin, it's still only a 3.5 hour journey. So
I would not be surprised if there's a big trend for restaurants to get the Green Star. So Michelin has now launched the Green Star initiative for sustainability. Ireland's color is green, and everything is so. And Ireland is a country of very locally sourced when it comes to from the kitchen. And there's, I'm sure we're not unique. Everything's within 5 kilometers away.
Well, we had a webinar one time. We actually had Patrick Guibo on, and I don't know if you remember this, Shelley, but he actually said that he thought that Irish cheese was the same, if not better, than French cheese. And I thought I'd never hear a French.
I never thought he'd get back into France, to be honest. When he said that, I heard him saying it. Restaurant Patrick Guibo's 2 Michelin star Blue Book member in Dublin. And I heard him say it, and I thought, oh gosh, they're going to take back his citizenship by saying Irish.
His citizenship would be taken off him.
But, it is fabulous. And it goes back to those small producers and what Sheila said, that they're local farmers, they're producing small quantities, and it is of that incredible quality.
Very secure economy near, like I was in with the chef recently, and we were just chatting about different initiatives where we could actually generate some PR. And they just happened to say to me, oh yeah, we had some leftover plums last winter from the orchard. So we made our own infused gin. And I was like, where's this beautiful gin? Where's our lovely cocktail? Like, I think we forget even internally ourselves how much we're always trying to contribute back, making chutneys from the leftover fruits that we have from the orchard season, and always carrying that through to different seasons of the year as well.
Yeah. And the other thing as well is because we're a year-round destination, because the weather is so temperate, that there is that variety of food throughout the year. So if you come in the summer, second time you visit, you come in the fall or the autumn, it's going to be a totally different experience.
It really is. It's a really cozy, like Ireland, we love to hibernate. And I think the pubs come alive as well in the winter, and the music sessions that happen in the bars. And yes, it's dark, but it's cozy, and you can sit up beside a big fire in any of these historical properties. And it's a different experience, but it's a wonderful experience as well. Actually,
Sheila, you have a open fireplace that greets people when they walk in.
Yeah, and it's lit every day of the year, even on our warm.
This summer it's needed, Sheila, let's be honest, in Ireland.
Yeah, but I suppose, look, it's part of the welcome. They're within our cottages. I think we have 13 fireplaces throughout the hotel and the cottages.
Wow.
Yeah. And who doesn't love to sit by an open fire?
And it's about having a chat, isn't it, really? Because with Liss Ard Estate or Ballyfin or with Sheila's property, a lot of the guests are Irish. We go away to these properties because we want the dining experience or we want a romantic break. And you're sitting there and you're exchanging tips, and you'll have a whole itinerary. You'll be throwing out the itinerary that Siobhan's team have put together for you because you've met some local saying, you've got to go here, you've got to go here. And that happens in Ireland. People talk to each other. Yeah. And I think that's wonderful as well. And they love that you've come to Ireland, that you've selected Ireland of all the places that you come, and they'll share what they think is the best with some very dodgy directions, as Michael said.
Family you didn't know you had. The Irish people will always make a connection in some roundabout way.
Yeah, so true. Anytime you meet someone abroad, who do you know now? Where are you from? What's your name? I bet you I know someone who knows you, and then you end up being related probably.
Oh, we have a lady that works with us, Anna. It's a joke. It's a running joke. 2 degrees of Anna. She's 2 degrees from anyone in Cork.
Wow. But the other thing as well that's lovely is that often, like when you're talking about Sheila, the foodie tour in Kenmare or different experiences you could do with local people, it's amazing how much the clients stay in touch with the people who look after them. And I'm not talking about the managers or the sales directors of the hotels. It's the people who see them every day, who look after them for breakfast, you know, who bring them out maybe on that buggy ride or whatever, and they will stay in touch. And I think that's beautiful that you're sort of, you know, for helping them form friendships across, you know, the water or the bridge with other people that they normally wouldn't have met, which just lasts for sometimes a lifetime.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Ireland such a unique destination. You won't get that anywhere in Europe. You know, that's Ireland really in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah. So we better end it there before we go on too long. This is the problem with Irish people chatting, and Michael, now you've become an Irish person.
Honorary Irish.
So we're going to have a second one of these webinars with some more lovely, smaller, intimate sort of, I don't like the word boutique, but just, you know, properties with character and charm. So join us for that. Gio, I know I always put you on the spot saying, when is it? Is it in 2 weeks' time?
It's in 2 weeks' time, the 31st.
2 weeks' time.
Yes.
Brilliant. So we'll see you all then, and thank you very much, Ballyfin, Sheen Falls, Liss Ard, the Blue Book, for joining us, and of course for Gio for doing everything in the background to getting those videos to work. So see you all in 2 weeks, and everyone that registered, I think we had about 180 people who registered, so we will be sending out the recording to everyone as well, and links to the videos if we can. All right. Okay. So thanks a lot, and see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.